So it is mentioned that, I think this is a very brief, which is not very essential for the exam. We can see that he was born in Corsica, successfully commanded the French forces, and he led a expedition to Egypt to weaken the Britishers' trade, right? So what happened, that it was him or his victories who gave him the immense popularity back at home in France. That's why in the new power structure, whole defense was given under his hand. So what happens ultimately, that by 1799, France was facing political instability even under the directory, even under the executive, right? So Napoleon staged a coup and he became the first consul, effectively the dictator of the France. By defeating the second and third coalition, he became the master of the continent, that is, whole continental Europe, right? You know, in continental policy, what did he do? He said to other nations that do not have economic trade relations with Britain. Now, this was the policy that he wanted to contain, because understand that economy is equal to power. If you cut off the economy of any nation, do you think that state is going to survive? No, right? So what happens that ultimately he does cut off, he tries to cut off the Britain, but black smuggling happens. On the back of it, a lot of by various channels, the trade keeps on moving, and even the other nations, they carry on the trade behind his back with the Britain. Now, this ultimately leads to his own downfall. We'll see. Right. First, let's see the Napoleonic reforms. Okay, these are the consolidated work, or they consolidate the work of French Revolution. It is said that he was a champion of equality, fraternity, though not liberty, because he strictly censored the speech and the press wherever his power extended. He did render his last religious freedom when he gave to Protestant Jewish communities a religious status recognized by the state of France. It is said that he carried much of the idols of the revolution into the countries of Europe, sweeping out the tyrannous medieval laws and custom, and he gave Napoleonic code of law. We'll just see that, okay? In the German and the Italian territories, which Napoleon controlled, served him in feudalism, okay? And over here, all these feudalism activities were ended. In the Europe, okay, he planted the seeds of religious tolerance, popular participation in government and equality. But while the magnificent despot went forward with some revolutionary reform, it was his custom to replace the new form of thinking. Also, it is said that he was a very learned man, and he was an expert, or you can say that he surpassed the world in mathematics, physics, and astronomy. In fact, to maintain a good economy in the state, he created a Bank of France, which established the currency by issuing the paper money, right? There was a paper money and there was an adequate gold reserve. In today's time also we see that government is having SLRs, right? You are having some amount of money in gold reserve, right? His Concordat with the Pope in 1801 reunited the church and the state in the France, which lasted for 1905. Now, what happens after this? The Code of Napoleon, right, remains to this day the foundation of the legal system of France. He must also be credited with administrative and educational reforms, right? His powerful man carried out a far-reaching programming. He selected civil and military officials according to the merit, not merely how it was done. Nobles of robes were, the posts were sold. No. He created the Legion of Honor to do distinguishable service to the state. Napoleon did much to improve the growth of, now you see, nationalism in France. The concept of whole nation state starts from here. We will see with the emergence of unification of Italy, unification of Germany, right? Then we'll move forward to the aggressive nationalism. All this starts from here. He also begged the modern warfare for all the nations and the people. His militarism resulted in 3 million deaths, hundreds of brave men, agriculture and delivery sufferings. Now, what were these Napoleonic Code and what is his continental system? Understand, this Napoleonic Code is the rule of law, which was, whatever we studied before this is not very relevant for the exam. This part is relevant for the exam, like what he actually did and what were the flaws that led to his weakness. So it was implemented without any discriminatory treatment on the basis of authoritarian criteria. The laws of war were codified in 1804 under the title of Code of Civil Justice, which was renamed as Code of Napoleon. Laws of civil justice along with rule of law. Now, continental system, it was adopted as an economic weapon to defeat and destroy, right? Specifically the Britain goods. It was created through a series of models issued by Napoleon, first by blocking the entry of the British goods into the continent, right? What he will do? He will block any kind of trade, and if you are blocking the trade, what is it going to lead to? The blockage of trade, right? Everything at that point of time during this 17th and 18th century, countries were more about trading because Britain was taking a lot of raw material from India. It was sustaining its industrial revolution and manufacturing, right? So what happens? The leader of Napoleon wanted to give an extension market to the rich industries so that he could find the economic dictation to shift his political supremacy. Now, the system, it was created to destroy the Britain, but what happens ultimately? It ended up destroying the Napoleonic Empire itself, because when you are blocking the entry, definitely Britain is on the rise of or the verge of industrial revolution. So black markets will be created, and in this black markets, you will see that via channelized way, the products will be sold, right? So this becomes the downfall of